Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webcast today. We have Renew Matu with us, and she will be speaking about named views and layout viewports in AutoCAD 2019. The content from this webcast today is taken from ASCENT's Learning Guide, AutoCAD 2019 Fundamentals. So, Renew, we're thrilled to have you with us today, and I will now pass things over to you.
Thank you, Corrine. That was a great introduction. So welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webcast session. In this session today, as Corrine said, I'll be talking to you about creation of named views and inserting them in layouts as viewports in AutoCAD 2019 software. So for those of you who have not attended any of my previous webcast sessions, I will introduce myself first, and for those of you who have attended some of my sessions, please bear with me. So my name is Renew Matu, and I'm an instructional designer with ASCENT. My main work here is to write and update the courseware material, including the training guides for various Autodesk software products, such as AutoCAD and other AutoCAD verticals, which include AutoCAD electrical, AutoCAD mechanical, and plant design. And then I also create courseware material on the Autodesk visualization software products that include Autodesk 3ds Max and VRED Professional. So as always, I'll be explaining the topic with the help of the PowerPoint presentation slides, the one that you can see on the screen, and then I will demonstrate in the AutoCAD 2019 software. That will be after all the content and will be covered. After that, I will demonstrate it in the software. So let's get started now. So today's topic is about creating named views in model space and then inserting these named views in the layout as viewports. I will also demonstrate another cool new feature that was added to the software, and it's about creating a new view directly from the layout and also inserting it on the fly. So I'm taking all the information, as Corrine mentioned, from our AutoCAD 2019 Fundamentals Learning Guide. Both these features were introduced actually in the AutoCAD 2018.1 software update, but I incorporated those in our AutoCAD 2019 Learning Guides. As these features, they found their way into the software after we had released the 2018 Learning Guides. So these features are discussed in detail in Chapter 14, which is setting up a layout of the learning guide. And the content that I'm presenting today is I am directly pulling it from that learning guide itself. So what are named views? Named views are areas of drawing that are stored under specific names. So while working on a large complex drawing, you might want to break it into views that can be readily accessed in both model space as well as in paper space. As mentioned, separate areas of drawing are saved with specific names, and they come in handy when you need to work on those specific areas. So instead of wasting time locating those areas in large complex drawings, you can simply call those individual named views, which we have already saved. So for example, you can use named views to define a specific area in a large architectural plan, or you can have a defined view of each quadrant of a map, or you can also define small parts in a large mechanical assembly. So the use of named views is varied and it covers a lot of areas. So in large complex drawings, named views provide a faster method to display control than the zoom command itself. So till 2018 version of the software, the named views were created using the View Manager, which is a longer and more cumbersome way of creating the named views. Now, a quick and more efficient tool has been introduced to create those named views. So named views can now be created quickly and more efficiently using the New View command. And it is available, as you can see, in the View tab of the ribbon and in the Named Views panel right here. So once a named view is created, what happens is it is automatically listed in this named views view where it says unsaved views. So they, whatever the named views when you create, they get listed over there. So first of all, when you select the New View command, the New View Short Properties dialog box opens. So the dialog box is right here. So in this dialog box, first of all, you enter the name of the view. Then in the boundary area, you just click on the define window command, this define window right here. So you are then prompted to create a window around the area of the drawing. So for example, we have created an area right here around the classrooms, and we have named it as classrooms also. So once you create the window and click OK in the dialog box, the view is saved with the name you specified and listed in the drop-down. So as I showed you previously, there was a drop-down list under unnamed view. This classrooms, it gets listed there. You can then zoom into those named views by selecting that from the named view from the list itself. If you select it, it will zoom into that. So these named views also become available in the layouts, and they can be easily inserted as layout viewports. Now, inserting views into layouts. So this is a new command that has been added to the 2018.1 update of the software, AutoCAD software, and this is a really cool command. So it is the insert view command. So it is available in, so the insert view command, it provides a convenient and easy and efficient way of inserting views. The insert view command is available once you are in layout. It is available in the layout tab, as you can see, and in the layout viewports panel. So when inserting a view of the model on paper, you should set the scale at which the model needs to be printed. So using this insert view command, it enables you to set the scale before placing the view so that you can see how the view, how it fits on the sheet. So you can also use the grips to resize the view and then move it to place it into the correct location. And also you can set the scale after you have inserted the view in the layout. So if you remember the original create viewport commands, which were like the rectangular, the polygonal, and so on, you could set the scale only after placing the view on the sheet and not before that. But in this case now, it gives you an option. So because you see the window, it gives you an option to set the scale beforehand and see how it is placed on, how it fits on the paper and how it looks there. Now, there are two ways that the insert view command can be used. And one of that is if a named view has already been defined and in model space, because we define all those named views in model space, and then we can use the new view command, the insert view command, to insert those named views. Now, the second is the use of the new view option of the insert view command, and this enables you to create a view on the fly and then insert it at the same time. So this way the view is, if you're using the new view option of the insert view command, it does not save the defined view. You can save only by using the named view command, but this is an quick and easy way. For example, you remember, okay, I want a view of something which was not defined previously, which you had not defined previously, or even if you have no other views available, defined views available, you can just create it on a fly. So, so now first let's talk about the inserting of named views. So for inserting of named views, you have to be in the Layout tab and in Paper Space. So when you have named views already created, a gallery of those named views is displayed in the Insert View command. Here you can see that there's an arrow here, and then the gallery of the named views is displayed. So select one of the views, and the view window, just a blank view window, attaches itself to the cursor. Now, before you place it in the layout, you can just change the scale here. So if you feel it looks too big or too small and it does not fit properly on the sheet of paper, on the sheet of the paper space, so you can scale it right now. So instead of clicking and placing this window of the named view, what you can do is you can right-click here and then change the scale. And then after changing the scale, you can see, okay, how big the window is, and if it fits properly and that's the desired scale you want, you can just then click to insert the view. As always, you also have the option, once you have placed the view in the layout window, you can use the grips that come when you select the outer boundary of the view. You get different kinds of grips, and you can use those grips to scale, to resize the viewport, or you can even move the viewport around. So we'll be talking about that also as we proceed. Now, the second option is that we can create and insert views on the fly. So again, you have to be in the Layout tab and in Paper Space for this to work. So if a named view is not created, then no gallery is available. And if in that case, if you select the Insert View command, because then in that case, the arrow is not displayed at the bottom of the Insert View command because the gallery is not available. And at that time, this Insert View command, it works like the New View command. So what it does is it automatically moves you when you click it, or even if you have all those, if you have a gallery present and you do not have the desired view, you can use the New View command. Both work the same way. This works without if no named view is present, it works the same way as the New View command here. So when you click either one of those in different situations, so what it does is it automatically moves you to model space. And here you can specify a window around the desired area of your choice. After you have created a window around the desired area, you have to press Enter, and then you're switched back into the paper space and with a new window which is attached to the cursor, again, in the same way when you were using the named views. So again, you can see how it looks, how much space it takes on the paper space, and you can either at this very moment you can right-click and then set the scale and see how it fits on the paper, or you can just proceed and insert the view, and then later after proceeding with inserting the view, you can just set the scale. You can use the grips to set the scale to move or resize the window, viewport window. So now let's proceed. So again, as I mentioned before, new grips. So there have been new grips that are provided in the software now, and these were also provided in the 2018.1 update of the software. So they have. So what has happened is that these grips has given an extremely easy and efficient way of resizing those layout windows, moving them around, scaling them. If you remember before 2018.1 update came out, if you remember. it was really cumbersome to change the scale later on, to move and to adjust those viewports. It was really a little bit hard to do that. Now it's become really, really easy and convenient. So there are square grips available on the corners of the viewport, and there is another square grip that is available in the center of the viewport. And then there is a downward arrow grip that is available. So each of these has a specific function. So the corner square grip can be used to easily resize the viewport. This is just cutting off, resizing. What resizing here means is that it just cuts off out some portion of the visible area. And it does not in any way scale the window or anything. It just cuts the area which you do not want in the viewport to be visible. So that's how you can resize the viewport using this corner square grip. Now, to move, you use the middle square grip, and it really works like the regular move grip, where what you can do is click on it, it turns red, and then you can move it around in the paper space in the viewport. The viewport you can move around in paper space. And then we have the middle arrow grip. What it does is again, it scales the view. But it can be used after the viewport has been created and the view has been placed in paper space. So you can do it also before placing, as I mentioned earlier, and that can be done by right-clicking before placing the view in the viewport, before placing the viewport in the paper space. So, but instead, if you have already placed it, you can use this downward-facing arrow grip. So let's go ahead and now have a software demonstration of all those features. I'll bring up AutoCAD software. So this is the AutoCAD 2019 software that I'm using, and I have a layout model already in my model space. And so first of all, we'll create the named views and show you, I'll demonstrate how you can zoom into those different areas just by clicking in those named views, by using those named views basically. So, first of all, as I mentioned before, this new view command is available in the View tab, and we are in model space. So once we click on the new view, so we get into the new view shot properties dialog box, and here we can name the view. So for example, I want to create a view of this toilet area, so I can say toilets. And then instead of having the current display, I can say define window. As soon as I hit this define window, I am prompted, you can see here, it says specify first corner. I am prompted to create a view, create a window around the desired view. And so because it's the toilets that I'm creating a named view of, so I can create a window around it like so. And once I click, the window, it shows me the area that will be defined in that named view. So for that to confirm, I have to press enter. So I pressed enter, it goes back into the new view and it will get saved. So I'll say okay. Before I do this, I will want to show you that there is no gallery present in the layout. So I'll kind of cancel it right now. So I just will show you first that in the layout, you have the unsaved view, and if you open, I have to go into the layout tab, and there's this insert view command. It has no arrow at the bottom because there is no named view available, and hence there is no gallery available for it. So I just canceled the command just to show you that there is no gallery, and this insert view works as new view if there was a gallery available. then they give you then the software provides you with the new view option at that point in time. So let's go back and restart making the new view. So click new view, toilets, and then define window like so, and then create a window around the toilets area and click, and then press enter. You're taken back into the new view short properties dialog box, say OK. Once this is done, you can now see if I open this one, the toilets are added to the view, so to the named views. Now we can also create another view of the stairs and the elevator area. So again, new view, and then we can say stairs and say define view, and then go into the stairs and elevators area to define it. So like so, and then press enter, and then go OK. So once you open this, the stairs as well as the toilets are defined. Now, in complex drawings, you have so many areas that, for example, you want to work. For example, this was an extremely complex drawing, and you had to work on the toilets area. You had to add some models there or do some work there. So you can just go into the toilets, and you can see you will be zoomed into that area. Similarly, if you want to see the stairs, you will be zoomed into the stairs area. And so this becomes really handy to zoom into those desired areas that you have already specified as named views. Now let's go into the layout and see how we can access those views and insert them. So first of all, we'll delete the view that is already created of the, so we'll delete that. And now, as I mentioned before, so you go into the Layout tab, and in the Insert view, as you can see now, a small arrow has been provided. And this arrow, it shows you the different named views, the gallery, in the gallery. And then New View has been added because this is the one which you can use to create views, create and insert views in the layout on the fly. So that is the one you can use. So now let's first begin by inserting the toilets. So as you can see now, when I clicked on this toilets, it gives me this, the window gets attached. So it shows me how big or small that window is. And at this point, I think it's too big to fit into paper space. So what I'll do is I'll just right click and instead choose a different kind of different scale. So let's see if I choose 1/4 equals a quarter of an equals 1 feet. So I think it sounds, it looks good, and we can insert it here, but I can show you if we can choose another one and see how big or small. So it becomes really small. This becomes really tiny. I think we'll go with the 1/4 inches equals 1 feet, and then insert it here. So the toilet view is inserted. Similarly, let's insert the stairs. So again, we can insert it here, and we can use the scale command later on, or we can just do to save time, we can just use the scale command right here. And I think 1/4 equals 1 is the good one. So we place it here. Now so these are the two named views, and you can see how simple and easy it has become now to insert those views. And now let's create. So for example, we want to have a view of the classrooms or another area in the drawing, but we have not defined it already as it's not available in the gallery. So what we can do in that case is that go into the insert view, but select the new view command. And what it does is it moves me into the model space again. And here I can choose those top offices area and go like so, and then click. And then once this area is defined, I press enter, and then it connects with with my cursor. So again, I can right-click and scale it right now, or I can just simply put it in here. I think it looks pretty okay, and so that's how I wanted it. But the only difference is that it is not saved in the gallery as a named view. So, which means that you cannot use it after any later on in next layout or next layout. You cannot use it again. But in these named views, you can use them as many times as you want because you have already saved them. Now let's work with the grips a little bit. So we can click on the viewport boundary, and then as you can see, because when we use the new view and insert view commands, the scale is already set and it has already been locked. You can see the viewports are locked. So to scale it around and if you want to scale it around and move it around, like pan around, so what you can do is you can unlock it first, and now let's find an area inside so that we want a different area maybe in this. So let's go make it smaller, bigger, and maybe use this foyer area. That's the one we want. Or maybe the auditorium, so which is right here. Now, as you can see, you cannot see the whole of auditorium is not displayed. So maybe the scale is okay. You want at the same scale, but what you want is to change the size of the window and make it bigger. So we can click on one of those and just try and make it bigger so that it's round, but it's at the same scale. So that's so. Now, we can also, maybe I want to move those two along the side, and so I can just select this one and move it using the top one, the middle square grip, and move it right there, and this one, maybe move it underneath here. And now, maybe I want to scale this one a little bit. It doesn't look pretty okay, so I can choose my scale here and see how it'll look. So if I say 1/4, it becomes too big. And then if I say 1/8, I think that is perfect, but I need to move it a little bit and move it around here. So that's how you can you use the grips, and this is how you can use the named views and insert view command, which is a really cool new command that has been provided in the software now. It has made inserting views into layouts so much more easier and so convenient. So let's move ahead now with the software. Let me get back to the PowerPoint slide. So to summarize all this, so in today's webcast, we were able to do the following, which is create named views in model space, insert named views as layout viewports. We create new views on the fly from the layout. We were also able to insert the newly created views. We used the various grips to scale, move, and resize the layout viewports. Now, the AutoCAD 2019 Fundamentals Learning Guide is already available, and like all other, that's where I got all the material from. So like all the other ASCENT learning guides, this guide has an Autodesk authorized publisher branding. This learning guide has the typical ASCENT layout, where each chapter has the learning objectives to help you understand what you will be learning. At the end of each chapter, the chapter review questions are provided to quickly review and refresh of what was learned in the preceding chapter. An appendix is also provided at the end of the training guide that helps you to prepare for the AutoCAD Professional Certified exam. This guide is also available as an instructor guide, and in the instructor guide, it is such a great tool for all the instructors out there. So in addition to the regular learning guide, you also have answers for the chapter review questions. It also gives you suggested timing that is required to complete each chapter in the training guide, and it also gives you the estimated timing to complete each chapter so that you are on track for the number of days that this course needs to be taught. And a link of the overhead slides is also provided in the instructor guide. And what it contains is the PPT slides, is the PowerPoint slides with keynotes. They are already created for the instructors. So it's just like a lesson plan that you already have there, and it's all prepared for you. So I think, is such an invaluable tool for the instructors. So that's the new thing this year. We used to have the instructor guides earlier on, but they were as a separate book, but now it is all in one. It has the learning guide. On top of that, you get the instructor tools in there. So now the product lineup for AutoCAD. So the various books and the learning guides that are available from ASCENT for AutoCAD are AutoCAD 2019 Fundamentals, and this is where I had gotten all the information from today, and it is available in both mixed and metric releases. Then we also have the AutoCAD 2019 Essentials, AutoCAD 2019 Beyond the Basics, and AutoCAD 2019 3D Drawing and Modeling. All of these are available and they have been released. Then we also have AutoCAD 2019 Advanced, which will be released in this month, the mixed one, and then the metric one will be coming soon in June. So with that, I'm going to hand you over back to Corinne, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about the guides.
Thank you, Renu. Thanks so much. So this slide is really for people who are new to ASCENT or not familiar with us. We just like to let you know of all the different formats in which we offer our content. So our learning guides, we used to call them student guides recently, but we just changed that name because it just wasn't maybe the best fit. But it's for people who are learning to use the software. Basically, if you're not the instructor, you would use this guide. We've changed the size as well of the guide, so that's available on the ASCENT eStore. We also have them available on Amazon as well. We need to add that in there. E-books we have, and video-enhanced e-books. So again, same content in the e-books as the learning guide. It's just a different way of learning if you prefer to have your content all digital rather than a printed copy of the book in front of you. You have that option. We also have e-learning bundles. So it's like an online access that you have through a subscription where you can have access to several of the guides for one subscription price. Renu talked a little bit already about the instructor guides. So again, before we had instructor tools, so instructors before had to, if they wanted a copy of the guide, they had to purchase the student guide and the instructor tools, where now you just need to purchase the instructor guide. And it comes with the book that the students are using, plus, as she mentioned, all those extra features where you have the timing suggestions for the course. In many cases, you have the overhead PowerPoints already created for you, and the answers, of course, to the questions that are in that, in the learning guide. And then we also have digital site licenses. So for those of you who may need to print larger quantities, and by larger I mean anything like over 100 copies of our books, then digital site licenses could be a very good option for you. And it would be good to talk to our sales team about that. That gives you the option to print the books yourself. And lastly, I'll just get all the ways in which you can contact us and find us on social media. So we have our AscentEstore.com. That's where our books are sold. You can also go through our website, AscentEd.com, and when you're on our website from there, it links through to the ASCENT eStore. They're just the people that handle the commerce side of for us. And as I said, you can also find many of our books on Amazon.com. You can go through our website again. It'll take you right to the page where the book is available on Amazon, if it isn't available on there. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We have a blog. We're on LinkedIn. So we are, all over the social network there. So please do follow us. And, we give you updates. We give you important information about events or webcasts that we're doing. And if you need to reach us, feedback@ascented.com is the easiest way to do that. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, or if you have suggestions for book topics that you would like us to cover, or topics for webcasts, we would really like to hear those.